Week 2, God's Presence is Everything. Chapter 16, The Service of Thanksgiving. With the Ark of the Covenant now safely in its tent in Jerusalem, this chapter describes the worship service David establishes. He doesn't just leave the Ark in a quiet tent. He immediately organizes a system of continuous worship, praise, and thanksgiving. This chapter is a beautiful picture of what community life should look like when God's presence is at the center. A breakdown of the chapter. 1. Sacrifices and blessings, verses 1 to 6. The first thing David does is offer burnt sacrifices and peace offerings before God. This is an act of atonement and fellowship. Then, he blesses the people in the name of the Lord and gives every single person a loaf of bread, a portion of meat, and a cake of raisins. He follows up worship with generosity. He also appoints priests to minister and sound the trumpets continually before the ark. 2. David's Psalm of Thanksgiving, verses 7 to 36. This is the heart of the chapter. David delivers a special psalm to Asaph and the musicians to be sung that day. This song is actually a collection of verses from 3 other psalms, Psalm chapter 105, 96, and 106. The song is a perfect model of praise and has 3 main parts. Remember what God has done, version 8 to 22. This section calls on the people to make known his deeds, glory in his holy name, and remember the marvelous works that he hath done. It recounts God's faithfulness to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Declare who God is, version 23 to 33. This part is a call for all the earth to worship the Lord. It declares his greatness above all other gods. For all the gods of the people are idols, but the Lord made the heavens, and calls for all of creation to rejoice before him. Give thanks for his mercy, version 34 to 36. The psalm ends with the classic call to worship. O give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. It finishes with a plea for salvation and a resounding amen from all the people. 3. The establishment of continual worship, verses 37 to 43. David doesn't let the worship end when the party is over. He establishes a permanent system of ministry. He leaves Asaph and his group to minister before the ark continually, and he sends Zadok the priest and another group to the tabernacle at Gibeon to offer burnt offerings continually morning and evening. Worship was now an organized, daily part of the kingdom's life. Connecting to our theme, God's presence is everything. This chapter is the joyful conclusion to our theme. The first attempt to move the ark ended in fear and death. The second, obedient attempt ended in this explosion of organized, generous, and joyful worship. The response to God's presence is worship. David shows that when God's presence is properly honored and centered in our lives, the natural overflow is worship, remembering his past faithfulness and declaring his present greatness. The response is also generosity. David immediately blesses the people with food, showing that a heart filled with gratitude toward God results in generosity toward others. The response is continual. True worship isn't a one-time event. David set up a system to ensure that God was being praised day by day. Honoring God's presence is a continual, daily commitment. Reflection, questions for your group. 1. David's first act after worship was to give a gift to every single person. How are worship and generosity connected in your own life? 2. David's psalm focuses on remembering God's past deeds. What is one marvelous work God has done in your life that you can give thanks for today? 3. David organized worship to be a continual, daily activity. What is one small thing you could do to make worship a more consistent part of your daily routine? Key takeaway for Chapter 16. The proper and joyful response to the presence of God is a lifestyle of continual thanksgiving, remembrance, and generosity.